G'day, Fred. How are you, mate?
Hello, I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing very well. I love the Rocky post in the background. I've got to start out by pointing that out. Very well done. Very well
That's
done.
pretty cool. I've got Rocky, I've got Pulp Fiction, and Scarface. So there you go.
Oh, mate,
Uh,
you're a man of taste.
yeah, but I see you have Summer in Time in the background yourself, so that's great.
Oh, mate, I think that was the album that connected me with my father. So it's always a special place in my heart. That one.
Ah, okay. It's a
Yeah,
great album. Yeah,
it
one of my favorites. Yeah.
it really is. And speaking of great albums coming out, not to transition too hard, but you've got the brand new album coming out this August. How excited are you? It has been a little while, almost to the point I didn't think we were going to get new music.
No, it's been 7 years since the last album came out. Well, you were talking about your father. I guess it's all connected. I started writing the music in 2019,
Yep.
and during that time, I got pretty busy because I had to finish an album with Dragon Force and then write one with Amahiru, which is like my Japanese, half European other band. And then I joined Kreator. Then we had COVID, and then in October 2020, I've lost my father, and that left me very, extremely empty as far as inspiration and
Yeah.
and everything else. I thought that would once the pain would go away, the pain never goes away to begin with, but I thought that would become like I would be able to transform that into music and whatnot. That wasn't the case. That left me like with a hole in my heart and in my life, and it's just very, very hard to get back from this. And then not really a year after, we lost Joey,
Mm.
our drummer. So yeah, and then we talked about it with the rest of the band, and we were just like, okay, we want to carry on. The album will be dedicated to Joey, and it will be dedicated to my father, which sort of like put me back on track. So that okay, let's finish this and let's make it a great album. So that's and then because on top of that, like I said, being in Creator involves like being very busy because we tour quite a lot, and that plus the ups and downs of how I feel. It took 7 years in total, and it feels like it went like this. It feels like I didn't really waste. Well, I don't know if I didn't waste any time, but I couldn't go any faster. So.
No, no, and look, I think it reflects on it too because you talked about the loss. There's a lot of emotional weight on this album. There's a lot of emotion, like it sounds emotional at the same time. How much of everything? I guess you can't avoid it because when you're writing music, you're pouring your whole soul into something. But is that what led you to kind of create this broader sound? Because it's a lot more melodic, I guess is the word I would use, and the previous records have been. Is that did you allow yourself to do that, just feel that way, or how did that come
Yeah,
to
yeah.
be?
No, everything came naturally. But like I said, and that's what I try to point out when I do those interviews. I've started writing a good portion of the music before any of this
Mm,
happened. So it was already clear to me that this album was going to be like there was no agenda. Like the first album was a love letter to death metal, like paying respect to the genre. So that means like within its not limitation, but just like I wanted to tick all the boxes. The second one was more like it was angry. I was angry. I was incorporated more elements of like Pantera, a bit of groove and whatnot. But I was also pissed off, and I just wanted to do something ugly. And also we needed to release an album. Like we were like
yeah.
sort of on the schedule because like the first album we couldn't go on tour, and this one we were trying to. So it was just like quick, quick, quick. And this one I was like, I'm gonna take my time and I'm just gonna write the music I feel and like, and if there's a song that requires in my head that requires like clean vocals or that requires sitar, let's go for it. So there
Yeah.
was no limitation. So I don't know. Well, everything you do, everything that happens to you in life has an impact on the music that comes after. But I wouldn't say that like the whole album is sweating of grief and
Yeah.
sorrow, because that would be lying. Like I said, like a lot of stuff has been done before, and I had to carry on this thing. Now, if I had to start writing music in 2021, like yeah, the whole album would have been probably completely different. And obviously, some of the stuff that has been written after, and the way I feel when I play those songs, that there's that, but there's more than that. And I guess people pick on this because that's how we present the album as well, because
Mm.
it's dedicated to them. So it gives you already like a sort of like, okay, dedicated to dead people. So therefore, but the album has also like you said, it's melodic. It's like, I think it's catchy. I think it's straight
Yeah.
to the point, very aggressive at times, very sad as well. So it is, yeah, diverse, but it was not purposely forcing myself to be diverse. It was just me being me.
Yeah. And that's the best way to go about it at the end of the day because you
Yeah,
can't force
exactly.
anything. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Not that it's never been forced, but it's just when you start to analyze and go back and like what's the difference between this one and, because now that I'm starting to do interviews again, I have to analyze and I'm trying to find the differences. And I guess at the time I was more like, oh yeah, I have to be like this, and oh, I want to do that. And this one, it was just like, I want to make the best music possible.
No, and I think you've done a fantastic job. I think people are going to be pleasantly surprised. They've been loving the first single, and it's great. It kind of shows a little bit of everything that's coming forth on this album as well. So well done picking that as the first one. And I wanted to touch base because you mentioned it as well. The clean vocals. Correct me if I'm wrong. Do you feel that there used to be a stigma around heavy music adding clean vocals in? It was seen as a way of almost like, not being faithful to the music. And I feel that's kind of changed over time. People have just adapted as this is a new way to be creative again. Music can still be heavy as anything. Just because it's got clean vocals in it, that doesn't ruin that.
Yeah, possibly. I guess the stigma was, yeah, for a while it was just that formula of metalcore, just like like heavy verse, clean chorus.
Yeah.
In fact, we're doing quite the opposite, but that's also, or clean verse, heavy chorus, and just like, which was like at the time when I guess Fear Factory were one of the first ones, and that was just like, oh, this is cool, like it's a nice balance. And then everybody was doing it to go like, everything is a formula. Then we could, why do we have drums? Oh, you have drums on all the songs. That's a formula. Or there's distortion and that clean. But that one particularly, I guess, was like a recipe that people probably wanted to avoid, or to some extent. And yeah, I don't know. I didn't think about it that way. I guess the what we have for, it required it. It was a ballad, or half a ballad in
Mm.
that sense. Turns out it's dealing with, that's the song that deals with grief and
Yeah.
loss and death and whatnot. And to me, it makes sense, without any, disregarding metalcore or any genre. It just made sense to me to go through these motions of just like having soft voice and then the anger rising. And the best way to express it is just like with melodies and then going into pure aggression.
Yeah.
And as for, there's another song that has that, and it's called Obsolete and Broken. And I just felt like that part in the middle felt like, oh, it's coming down and opening up, and I can visually see things. And I wanted to have like a very like a calm moment with the sitar, that one could say that it sounds like Flower People from Spinal Tap. But I had that vibe, like that very like peaceful, and that required also like clean vocals, and I'm harmonizing, like that's
Mm.
my voice together with Sean's
Oh,
voice. Yeah, yeah, and I think it's just like, it, like I said, it felt naturally. And but I see what you're saying, just like, and sometimes it's better not to think about anything and just carry on. So.
and that's the best to do it. And the way you described it as well is that's how a movie does a score. You got to have some quiet parts come in to really build up to moments to make them stand out and feel important.
Exactly, and that's what, going back to the first album, that's exactly what we were trying to achieve there. What I was trying to get with all those interludes in between songs was like the calm before the storm, and just going back, because if it's intense all the time, then you lose the intensity, because it just becomes like a line of like, "Nyeh." But and at the time I got the heat because people were going like, oh, it's killing the vibe of the album. It's like coming up and down. And that fucking pissed me off, which is one of the reasons why the second album was ugly. Because it's just like, well, fuck you all, because I spent time working on those interludes, like trying to find the right key that leads from song A to song B. Took me like a lot of time, just
Yeah.
like frying my brains, and people don't pick on it, just like, oh, go fuck yourself, repulsion for humanity, fuck you. A
Hey,
lot of swearing, by the way. I'm sorry, but
mate, I'm Australian. That's all we do. You've toured down here. You know how
yeah,
we like
yeah, 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 yeah.
it. But it's the same thing. If it's aggressive all the time, that'd be like watching Rocky or an action movie. And if it was just the action scene the whole way through, it gets boring. You got to break it up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Rocky, well, because it's in the back. Rocky is actually, yeah, it has like not that many. People think it's like a, action-packed movie, blah blah. No, no, the whole thing revolves around like the beautiful story, and then the action comes in, and it's like even more intense. So, like you said, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Exactly.
But,
Exactly.
yeah, 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 and the album, the new album has that. I mean, it's still action packed,
Oh yeah.
to use like a movie terms, but we do have like, yeah, there's like slowdowns, and you need those moments of calm. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly, exactly. I'll call the new album. We'll call the new album Die Hard. It's full of action, but it's got those breaks in it where you got to take that rest to build up to the next action scene. I think that's the best way.
Sinsaenum 3, Die Hard or Die Harder. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Uh,
Oh, but mate, I know you've got another interview, so I don't want to keep you. Thank you for taking the time out of your day. It's really appreciated. I cannot wait for people to hear this album. I've had the chance to listen to it. It's fantastic. Is there anything you want to say to the Aussie fans out there that are hoping you get a tour down here as well?
well, I was there not so long ago. When was that? I came with,
23 with Kreator?
yeah, was it
Yeah.
23,
No,
24?
no, 20 beginning of 24.
Yeah, yeah, it feels like it wasn't that long ago. It's always a pleasure to come down there, even though I'm scared shitless of the variety of spiders that you guys have. And it fucking freaks me out. I have a friend of mine who told me once she had like a big huntsman like in the house, and she was like, "Oh no, it's harmless because it's not black." And I was just like, "You guys are fucking this is horrible. This is like the size of a plate." Well, what am I trying to describe this to you?
I
But
woke
yeah,
up with
apart
one on
from,
my face one day. Like I woke up in bed and it was doing this. I was just like, stay still, stay still, stay still. And the second it crawled
for
away, it
real.
just jumped. Yeah, that was about 10 years ago. I'll never forget it. Yeah.
But when I go there, like I really like I check the hotel room like fucking like everywhere. Like I flush the toilets, I look in the bed, and so. But apart from that, it's a beautiful country. Girls are pretty, people are friendly, and I love playing there. The schedule with Sinsaenum is based on my schedule with Kreator, which is like very, very busy. So we're trying, and I said trying with a big T and a big R and all the other letters I can't spell. Uh, no, no, but we I'd love to come back in January next year with Sinsaenum, but for that we need people to like the album. So it's
Yeah.
a it's a
Two-way
two.
street.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you guys like the album and if you want to come to the show, then you need to make yourself known, and then we will. Because I would love to, and I think it's like I like to go there because that implies also like going to Asia, Japan, which is my favorite country in the world. So we're trying to make that happen, but it's difficult, and because we've been away for such a long time, it's also like a little complicated. But I hope people will enjoy the album, and I do believe it's a good one, regardless of what it implies as well. That's my life. That's one thing. If it opens people's eyes on how you feel like after losing someone or grief and whatnot, that's great.
Yeah.
If they just want to focus on the music, there's plenty of that on the album. You don't have to deal with loss to feel connected to it, and you don't have to be sad, like I might be. So yeah. So hopefully, like I said, hopefully you guys in Australia will like the album, and then we will come and play it for you.
Exactly. So, guys, I'm going to link that in the comments down below. So there's no reason that you couldn't go find. But Fred, it's been an absolute pleasure, mate. Enjoy the rest of your day. Hopefully, we'll see you soon.
I hope so. Thank you very much.
Cheers, brother. Thank you.
Cheers, bye.